Okay, hello everybody, welcome to this Verbling class. My name's Teacher Amy and today's class is one of the classes in my Around the World in 80 Days series. So basically we learn a bit about different countries around the world by reading something specific about them. Basically finding out a little bit about the country, but also increasing our vocabulary and improving our pronunciation. And today's topic is the West Indies, which is an unusual location. We haven't looked at it before. I don't know if all of you even know where this place is, and we're going to be looking at railways. So do come along in. I think there are a couple of slots left. If you're interested in joining us, you are very welcome. So just before we get started with our topic today, I'm just going to share a couple of useful things with you about Verbling. So there are a couple of pages I want to tell you about. The first one is my Verbling Teacher Facebook page, and I'm going to pop that one into the chat box there. If you're interested in keeping in touch with what's going on with any of the Verbling teachers on Facebook, then you can like them on their Facebook pages and you'll receive their news updates in your feed, so you can keep in touch with things as you go through your English learning week or month. And the second link is probably the one where you'll find more information. That's my Verbling Teach page, and if you go to visit that page, you'll find out everything you need to know about me or any of the other teachers. So if you see one of us teaching and you think, oh, that looks fun, I'd like to join a class, then go to the teacher page and you will see all of the classes that are coming up with that teacher. If you're interested in a private tutoring session, which is just you and the teacher, a one-on-one private class, then you can see the teacher's schedule on their Verbling Teacher page and you can book a slot with them from there. Don't forget that we do have half-hour trial sessions which are very good value, so that you can meet a teacher and decide whether or not you think that you're going to work well with them before you commit to buying a full class or a set of classes. So it's a very handy thing. Do go and check that out if you have time. If you have any questions about anything, you can get in touch with us. There's a messaging feature, so just write us a message via the Verbling Teacher page and we will get back to you. And you can also access the teacher's welcome introductory video and see some of their recorded classes, etc., so you can get an idea of who they are. So if you're interested in that, do go and have a look. And now we're going to say hello and welcome our students for today. So who do we have first? Simone, how are you?
Hey, did you say Albert?
Haha, no, but you know, Albert, I'm going to say hello to you because Simone was being quiet. I will come back to you, Simone. Albert, how are you? Nice to meet you.
Hi, I'm fine, thanks. I think this is an advanced class, and I'm not quite sure I'm an advanced person, but I will try.
All right, Albert, that's no problem. It's always good to sometimes I think to push yourself a little bit. So if there's anything that you don't understand, just let us know. But it should be a straightforward class. We just do mainly reading in this class, so it's our pronunciation practice and also learning a few new words, hopefully. So that should be fine. Where are you from, Albert?
I'm from Barcelona.
Okay, and do you live in Barcelona right now?
Yeah.
Awesome, because lots of students say, oh, I'm from this place, and then actually they're not there. And I'm talking all about it, and they're going, well, I have no idea because I'm actually in, you know, Antarctica. All right, so how long have you lived in Barcelona, Albert?
Well, now 4 years now.
Okay, and where are you from originally?
I'm from a little village, approximately 15 kilometers north from Barcelona, called Súria.
Okay, so not too far away.
No.
Barcelona's always been your nearest city, I'm guessing.
Yeah, that's the place where you go when you want to go to the cinema. You go to Barcelona from
Yeah.
Súria.
All right, awesome. Well, it's nice to meet you, Albert. Welcome to the class.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Simone, I'm coming back to you now. How are you?
Oh, I'm fine, thank you, and you?
I'm very good, Simone. What's been going on in your life lately? Anything exciting?
Actually, no. I've been doing the same job and nothing so exciting, actually.
Okay, so just normal life.
Yeah,
How's English going? Have you been studying a lot? Are you getting anywhere with it? Do you feel good or bad or horrible?
I feel excited, always excited, because I love English, study more, and I'd like to speak more. But I think I will have the opportunity this year because I'm thinking in moving to London, maybe
Oh,
again.
really?
And
Yeah.
this time I'm gonna fix my mistake because when I went there for the first time, I had a lot of Brazilian friends. So now I'm kind of I have to avoid Brazilian friends somehow. I don't know how because they are everywhere, but I really need to overcome my shyness and my afraid of making mistakes and speak more.
Ah, yes, I think that's a very noble goal, Simone, but it is difficult when you go to another country not to find all the people who are from your country and end up just speaking your language with them all the time. I completely agree. It's very difficult. I think you have to
Yeah,
be really, really kind of strict with yourself about it and make some rules. Otherwise, it doesn't really happen. So, yeah, I
you know.
understand. All right, well, that sounds exciting. It's great to have you in class today.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, and now we have Maxim.
Hi, Amy.
Did I say your
I
name
am from.
anywhere near correctly? How do I say it?
You said it correct. I'm Maxim. Maxim
Awesome.
is the same. I
Okay, nice
am
to meet you, Maxim. Where are you from?
I am from Ukraine. It's in Eastern Europe. No,
Okay.
have you already heard about such country?
Yes, I absolutely have, Maxim.
And where are you from? Maybe you live in Europe too?
I'm from England, but I'm actually
Oh,
living in New Zealand at the moment, which is the other side of the world.
it's so far from here.
It is actually, and it's summer here, and you guys are in winter, so I'm not complaining at all. So tell me a little bit about yourself, Maxim. Who are you? What are you doing with your life?
I am 25 old. I am software engineer, so I am writing code for such big corporation like Odesk, Lens, and companies. So I am IT engineer. Uh,
Okay.
what else?
Why are you learning English? Is it for your job?
Yes, it's my job. My company is located in the United States, and I need all my bosses are located in the United States, in California, in Mountain View. So time by time, I have some uh, visitations to California, so I need to speak English well, and I'd like
Some
to do it.
visits. Okay. Wow, that's exciting. That's a really good goal to have. It sounds like your English is pretty good already, Maxim. So awesome.
Thank you.
Welcome to the class.
Thank you.
Luis, hello.
Hello, Amy.
Luis, I can't remember. Have we met before?
Yes, I think twice.
Twice. Oh gosh, my
Yeah.
memory must be getting terrible. Where are you from, Luis?
I remember you, though.
Excellent.
I'm
I'm
from
glad you
Brazil.
remember me. Ooh. When did we meet? Was it recently? Which country are you from?
Brazil.
Brazil. Okay, now I remember. Have you changed your picture? Maybe.
Yes, I think it's
Okay, this
because
is why. That I blame it on
I
that because I
forgive
didn't
you. Yeah.
recognize your picture. I maybe don't know you quite well enough to be able to recognize your voice yet. But
That's
okay,
okay.
Luis, it's nice to see you again. Apologies for not remembering.
I forgive you.
Um, how are you?
I'm great, teacher. Better
Good.
now.
Excellent. How's English going?
I think it's improving very well.
Yeah? That's awesome. Have you been attending lots of Verbling classes and doing lots of stuff?
Yes, I am really getting hard to learn English.
Very good. Well, I've got some awesome, very dedicated students in class today. It's going to be a good class. Welcome, Louise. It's great to have you back.
Thank you.
Simone, I'm going to answer your question before I say hello to Ken. It is very expensive to live in Auckland. It's probably not as expensive as London, no, but it is very expensive. Yes.
Where do
It
you
is-
live? In Auckland or Wellington?
No, I live in Auckland, which is where I am right now. It's a very beautiful city, but it has got more and more and more expensive in like the last, I don't know, 10 years probably.
I was thinking to go to New Zealand, but then I thought, oh my gosh, maybe it's as expensive as London, and in London I can travel in Europe, so I
That
think
is
it's
true.
better.
Absolutely, it depends what you're looking for. One of the main problems is that the salaries that you get paid in New Zealand are really low. So you have a low salary, and if you live in another part of the country, it's okay, but if you live in Auckland, it's not great. You earn the same as somebody else in another part of the country. Unlike if you live in London, in the UK, you'll earn more. So it is a bit imbalanced at the moment, but we will see what happens. Okay,
Yeah,
so
we'll see.
yeah, let's hope it gets cheaper. I'll say hi to Ken as well. Hello, Ken.
Yes, hello, how are you?
I'm great, thank you. How are you doing?
Yes, I'm fine, thank you.
And Ken, you know what? You haven't changed your picture since I met you, I don't think.
Yeah, because
Which I love, because I can always remember. No, I remember you anyway because I know you reasonably well now. But how is everything going with your English? Have you been starting a new year on a good foot?
same old, because I think English study has no shortcut.
That is a
So
very good
yeah,
point.
day by
Unfortunately.
day, I join the class as many I can, and I study English. Yeah, a little by little, gradually. And I chat with my American friend on Skype. It's also very helpful because he speaks in a kind of a street, and not kind of street English, but English which I don't hear in the classroom. Some slang or
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
or kind of expression. Yeah, native speakers in expression. Yeah.
So that's great, Ken. There you go. That's the technique, little by little, and also get some American friends or some native English friends, wherever they're from.
Yeah, that's right. And I often listen to the BBC podcast show.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Good.
it's very good because BBC has a lot of shows, and I love Adam and Joe show, but they stopped broadcasting, so I miss their shows.
Oh, that's a shame. Although having said that, sometimes it goes in cycles, so they may come back. You never know. Keep your eyes open.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Welcome back, Ken.
Thank you.
All right, and now we have just had Mustafa join us. Hello, Mustafa. Are you there? I can see you, and maybe...
Hello?
Hello!
Hello?
Can you hear me okay?
How are you?
I'm well, thank
Yes,
you,
I can hear you
Mustafa.
now.
How are you? Brilliant. There's a little bit of a delay, I think, but we're all right. We're doing great. So tell me how you are. How's everything going?
Looks like we
We
lost
lost
him.
him.
He's gone. All right, we're going to carry on with what we're going to do, guys. And if he comes back, we will welcome him back again. Okay, so we're going to talk about the West Indies. Firstly, does anybody know where the West Indies are? No. Don't worry, we're going to learn about it. Yes, okay, go for it. You don't need to put your hand up, Maxim.
West Indies. So actually, I think in geographic way, we need to say that west in the west, how to say, western from the zero meridian in Glasgow and east on the east of zero meridian in Glasgow or south. Usually nowadays it's supposed to tell that east is Asia and west is Europe and United States, Canada, so on, because usually this division is according to the culture. You do understand me? I hope.
What we would do is, if I can get this to work, I'll just have a look at a little map, because if I can find one that looks good. It's quite hard to see. It's quite hard to imagine and to describe it, so let's have a look. Perhaps this one, it looks a bit old worldy, but a little bit about the West Indies just from Wikipedia so that we can, I don't know, get familiar with it before we read our article, which is about railways. So I'm guessing that nobody has actually ever been to the West Indies before, or perhaps you have. Yeah? Okay, tell us about it. What was it like? Where did you go? Which part?
No. No, I haven't been there, I think.
Oh, I thought, sorry, Simone, I thought you said yeah in response
No.
to nobody's ever been there. All right, well, there you go. The map's not working, so we're just going to ignore that. I'll come back to that later, guys, and I'm going to share this with you. So, Ken, since you're first in line, I'll get you to do the first couple of paragraphs for us, please.
Okay. The West Indies is a region of Caribbean basin and North Atlantic Ocean that includes the islands of the Antilles and Lucayan Archipelago. After the first of the voyage of Christopher Columbus to the Americas, Europeans began to use the misnomer West Indies to differentiate that region from the Indies, South Asia and Southeast Asia. In 1916, Denmark sold the Danish West Indies to the United States for $25 million in gold. As per the Treaty of the Danish West Indies, the Danish West Indies became an insular area of the U.S. called the United States Virgin Islands.
Thank you, Ken. Well read, considering you had a couple of tricky words, but you did really well. We're going to carry on, read the second part, and then if any of you have any questions about vocab, we'll talk about it briefly. So, Albert, could you take on between, please?
Yeah, we'll try. Between 1958 and 1962, the United Kingdom reorganized all their West Indies island territories, except the British Virgin Islands, the Bahamas, British Honduras, and British Guiana, into the West Indies Federation. They hoped that the Federation would coalesce into a single independent nation. However, the Federation had limited powers, numerous practical problems, and a lack of popular support. Consequently, it was dissolved by the British in 1963, with 9 provinces becoming independent sovereign states and 4 becoming British overseas territories.
And you can do the next one if you want, Albert. You did so well. Keep going.
Yeah, West Indies / West India was the namesake of several chartered companies of the 17th and 18th centuries, including the Danish West India Company, the Dutch West India Company, the French West India Company, and the Swedish West India Company.
Brilliant. Okay, thank you very much from both of you. That was a really good start. So let me remind you guys that today our purpose is to improve our reading and pronunciation, and we'll also learn a bit about the West Indies and have a talk about what we're reading. So just take your time and go for it with your reading. Really well done to Ken and Albert. What I will do is I'll give you a paragraph or two to read, and then we will pause. If there's anything that you've pronounced incorrectly, I will correct you, and you can practice. And then we'll talk about the vocabulary so that everybody understands what we're reading. So that's pretty much how it works. So, does anyone have any questions about any of the stuff in here? And do you have a better idea of where this place is now?
The word insular means islanders.
An insular area.
Insular area. What is insular?
Very good question, Ken. So yes, insular actually has a more general meaning that we use in a usual sense, which basically means that it's sort of somebody's insular, they separate themselves from everybody else and they only focus on their own life or their own friends or their own things. So basically in this case it just means separate, basically, a sort of separated bit. But usually we use this word when we're talking about people. So that's quite a good one to note down if you don't know that already. Thank you, Ken. Any other questions? Does someone know what this word here means? It's a bit tricky to pronounce. Well done, Albert. It's coalesce. What does coalesce mean?
Coalesce.
Can anybody guess? Yeah.
It's like to become.
Yeah. To sort of join together with somebody else to become one group. Absolutely. So they become they join together to become a single independent nation, all these separate places. All right.
Excuse me, Amy.
Yeah.
Namesake is similar to nickname, something like that.
Ah, good question. Namesake.
Namesake.
What is a namesake? It's not actually a nickname. Does anybody know?
It is the situation when two persons have the same name.
Yes. Or it could be a thing and a person, or two things. But yeah, absolutely. So perhaps if you were named after your grandfather, maybe you're called John and he's called John, then your grandfather is your namesake. He's the person you are named after.
Ah, okay.
So that's quite a handy one. I think in certain cultures this is very, very common to be named after somebody important or one of your family members or whatever. So
here in Brazil it's common.
Yeah? Do you have a namesake,
Yes.
Simone?
Not me. Here in Brazil is more common for men. So not women, we don't have like our mother's name, but men is very common.
Yeah, that's unusual. I don't know why that is so. It's same in my culture, I guess. Although it's not particularly common. I think it was more common a while ago. It's sort of phasing out a little bit now. Okay, guys, so what I'm going to do now is get rid of that and do another screen share with a different page. And if you would like to read this yourself or load it up in your own window, then just have to go to this link here that's in the chat box. And as I said before, just take your time and focus on your reading. So, Luis, it's up to you to get us started with the title and the first paragraph. Please.
Okay, teacher. The last railway in the West Indies. I clutched my as we tittered over each of the full steel trustless. In the last hour of the train journey, at approximately 100 meters long, Christchurch is the longest crossing over the Island Main Road, some 15 meters below. I was thankful to be at the front of the railroad's 5 cars, not watching others wobble and creak from behind.
Thank
Wow.
you. All right, Louise, we're
Very
going to have to
difficult.
stop there because I just want to go through the first paragraph and make sure we all understand. I'll get you to read a bit more in a moment, but well done. The only word that I want to repeat with you is this one here, clutched. Oops, I didn't hear it. Somehow it cut out just as you said it. Can you say it one more time, Louise? Clutched.
Clutch. Clutch.
Very good. It has a T
Clutched.
sound at the end. Okay, clutched.
Clutch.
If any of the yes, that's right. If any of the rest of you would like to practice, please feel free. But just if you can keep your mics off, and we'll just go through the words that you come across. Otherwise, we don't have time to get through everything. But if there is any other words that you don't understand or you want me to pronounce, then do ask. So let's go through this first paragraph. Are there some words that we need to talk about here? No?
So can you pronounce these words? Teetered. I don't know.
Teetered. To teeter.
Teetered.
Yes, what does it mean, Simone? Do you have any idea?
No, I'm clueless.
You're clueless. Is anyone not clueless?
It's like to shake.
Yes, it's very close, exactly. It's sort of like to move in a very, very wobbly way. So if something is teetering, it's wobbling around and possibly looks as if it's going to fall any minute. So it's not the type of thing that you want a train to be doing if you're on the train. If it's teetering, it's wobbling and it looks like it's going to fall. You can see this picture. I don't think this is a picture of what we actually looked at thinking about it, because it does say that there's canyons spanning steel bridges. However, this can give you an imaginary idea. If you have a train going across here, it doesn't look particularly stable. You might think, we're going to fall off. That's what he's talking about. So any other words in this section?
Trestless.
This one here?
Trestles.
Trestles.
Trestle.
Trestles.
Has anyone ever heard of a trestle table?
T is silent.
Yes.
silent?
Yes, it's pronounced as if it just had double S in the middle. So trestles.
Trestles. What does it mean?
It's a type of structure. So it's a particular word that we use to describe a structure, especially for sort of railway bridges. But one of the most common ways we use it is a trestle table, which is hard to describe. It basically has two sets of legs that fold out, and you'll find them in public places where you have to like put the tables away, get them out again. Their legs fold in, and then you can stack the tables. So that's the most common use of the word trestle. It's not a particularly important word, I wouldn't say. Just talking about the structure. So these things here, really, same idea. All right, so no more questions. Is anybody here an avid train rider? Absolutely loves railways and trains?
I like them, but not I'm a lover. I like them.
You like them? Have you been on any exciting train journeys before, Simone?
Not so exciting, but I've been in a train, very, very nice trip from London to Scotland. Very, very nice train.
Okay, that's cool. What did you like about the journey, particularly?
The view and the train itself was very comfortable as well. Here in Brazil, you don't have these kinds of trains, not to travel. It's only for transportation of goods. So
Ah,
I've always
okay.
wanted to go in a journey like that in a train because in Brazil you don't have.
Mm-hmm. Oh, very interesting. Well, it's interesting that you picked the UK because we're not renowned for our train comfort compared to most of Europe, to be honest, Simone. But I'm glad that you enjoyed it. Has anyone else been on
Yes,
an
I did.
interesting train trip before?
Yes, maybe scenery is the one attraction of train travel because in the airport we could I could see nothing but clouds, but in the train we can see the scenery, and I think the scenery of New Zealand is a bit similar to Japan, kind of its island nation, and maybe scenery is changeable, right? I don't know
Yeah,
exactly.
that's
Yeah,
absolutely right, Ken.
I've
Having
heard.
said, yeah,
Sorry,
go ahead.
sorry, because I've heard that the movie last summer was shot in New Zealand, not in Japan. Because yeah, the
Unfortunately,
scenery
yes.
is similar.
I think it was just cheaper to do it here, to be honest, Ken. And the scenery, yeah, is similar. It's rather strange.
Yeah.
Um, okay, so I think Japan and New Zealand could be similar scenery. However, I think our trains have a lot of difference between them. New Zealand trains, well, we only have actually one or two trains anyway, and they are extremely slow. So if you want to get from A to B quickly, I advise you not to take the train. However, if you want to look out the window and enjoy a journey, then yeah, sure.
Okay, thank you.
What are the trains like in Ukraine, Maxim? Do you have trains there? Do you ever use a train?
Yes, of course, we have a lot of railways, we have a lot of trains. I have already had a lot of trips by train. We have very spread network of railways, and it's very popular kind of transportation in Ukraine, kind of transport in Ukraine.
Okay, how expensive is it compared to other transport?
It's one of the cheapest way to travel around Ukraine. For example, one ticket for 200 kilometers costs about €5 or €4.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
unbelievably cheap. Okay, if anyone wants to go on trains, forget the West Indies, just go straight to the Ukraine.
You are
Thank you.
welcome.
I'm coming, Maxim, because I really like trains and I much prefer them to buses, I have to say. All right, we'll
But
carry on reading. Yep.
there is one bad thing that trains in Ukraine are not so modern. They usually most of them are very old and is about 30 years old, so on. It's a big problem for Ukraine.
Okay, so the trains are old, but they're
Yeah.
cheap. And what kind of experience do you get when you're riding on them?
What kind of experience?
Is
Experience
it
is not.
comfortable, would you say?
Sometimes yes. If you get some old trains, some old, yes, it is a little bit uncomfortable. For example, beds are not so comfortable because Ukraine has a big territory, and sometimes you need to spend about 10 hours in train to get the other part in Ukraine. So
Okay.
you need to sleep there, and it is a little bit uncomfortable.
So it's not particularly comfortable, but it is at least cheap and could be better than other forms of transport.
It's cheaper than other transport, but I'd say not comfortable. If you
Okay.
can use bus, just use bus.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you. Well, we found out a lot about that. That was very helpful, Maxim. Okay, we're going to go back to the reading, and what I've actually realised as we've been discussing this is that we actually started on page 2, guys, which is really helpful, isn't it? So the picture's really similar, and I was reading this before class and forgot to change back. So there we go. We're going to start with this. We know that we're on a train. That's what the whole article is about. But this is actually the introductory picture, which I think is rather nicer than the first one. They have really nice photos, so flick through those. We're not going to do that together. And look, Albert, I'm going to get you to read from here now so that we can have a bit more practice. So could you read, this is the actual introduction.
Okay. On an island, sorry, on an island some 29 kilometers long and 8 kilometers wide, with its west side bordering the Caribbean Sea and its eastern side facing the Atlantic Ocean, history moves forward, albeit slowly and shakily, in the form of the Saint Kitts Scenic Railway. Dubbed the last railway in the West Indies and one of the few of its kind, the narrow gauge railway loops travellers 29 kilometers through verdant jungles, over canyon-spanning steel bridges, and along the island's rocky coast. But travellers were not always the train's primary cargo.
Brilliant. Thank you, Albert. You're doing really well. This word here is actually pronounced with a silent S, so it's pronounced island, okay?
Island.
Yeah. But apart from that, absolutely beautiful. Any questions from anybody about the vocabulary? No? We're all okay? Okay, so if there's anything that you don't understand, please do...
Verdant.
Ah, very good.
The word verdant.
Verdant jungles. Does anyone know what verdant means, or would anyone like to have a guess?
Green.
Very nice. If you learn any sort of, I suppose, green in Portuguese, what's the word for green in Portuguese, Simone?
Verde.
There you go. If you know Portuguese or Spanish, then you can guess that one. So green, basically. Any other questions?
Yes, I have a question.
Sure.
What is the meaning of loops?
Loops. What is a
Albeit.
loop? Okay, we'll do loop first. Can anyone describe what a loop is?
It is like a circle, loop.
Yeah. It's like a
Go
circle. Exactly. So a loop is like a circle. If you imagine when you tie your shoelaces, then you have to make a loop. Or maybe if you're on a roller coaster, a really scary one, it will do a loop the loop, and it will go round upside down and upside down. That's what it's
Okay.
talking about. Did we have one more question? No. All right, in that case, I'm going to ask Louise to read. Fernando, hello, welcome.
Hello.
Nice to have you here. We're talking about the West Indies and railways today, but I'm going to skip past you because I need to prioritize the students who've been here from the beginning for some reading. I'll come back to you as we get near the end, okay?
Okay, it's okay.
Cool, thank you. Louise, your turn from A Sweet History about Christopher Columbus.
Okay. Christopher Columbus discovered the islands of Saint Kitts and Nevis in 1493 during an exploration to the New World. Some say he chose to simply name it after his likeness. The island is more formally known as St. Christopher Island. Others maintain that he thought it resembled the shape of Saint Christopher, the patron saint of travelers, carrying the Christ child on his shoulder. Whatever the case, the discovery spawned battle upon battle between the British and French over the colonization of the islands, which were home to fresh water, large salt deposits, and above all, fertile soil.
Great. Beautiful reading. Thank you, Louise.
Okay, teacher.
Okay, any questions?
Fertile, I said correctly? Fertile.
Yes, okay,
Sorry?
so this is, because I'm from the UK, I actually pronounce it fertile, but fertile is okay as well because that's like more like the US pronunciation, so no problem.
Okay.
Everyone following? Yeah, okay. Keep concentrating, guys. I'm going to ask you some questions about this in a minute. Look at that beautiful shot. It looks like a paradise place. Maxim, in 1713.
Okay. In 1713, the British won sole control of St. Kitts, and its fertile soil quickly made the island of Caribbean leader in sugar production. By 1777, St. Kitts had become the Caribbean richest British colony per capita, with 68 sugar plantations across the island. Eventually, a railroad was deemed the most efficient way to transport sugar from the island's dramatic interior to its capital. Basseterre and between 1912 and 1926, narrow gauge railroad tracks were built to meet the demand.
Thank you very much, Maxim. Okay, this word is tripping you up a little bit, guys. It even trips up native speakers, okay? But this is pronounced gauge. Don't ask me why we spell it like this. It's ridiculous, I know. English is sometimes very ridiculous. But it's gauge, okay?
What is it? How to explain?
Good question. Does anyone recognize this word or have any idea what it means?
Maybe narrow length.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. So this is a railway word here. However, we do use this word to talk about measuring things. So a gauge is usually something that measures something, and you can use the word as a verb to say that you are estimating a measurement or estimating some kind of a I don't know, it's kind of like used as a guess in a way, but here we're talking about the distance between the tracks or the rails, sorry, the distance between the rails, okay? So it's a bit of a complex word here. But in general, this word is used in English, so it's a good one to know. Any other questions? No? All right, so I'm going to ask Mustafa, because we haven't heard from you. Have you been with us, Mustafa? Are you following? No, I think
Yes, I follow you.
Ah, brilliant.
Yes.
Okay, so sorry, I just noticed that you're coming in and out a bit. So, if you could read A New Life for Old Rails for us, please. From here?
Me?
Yes, please.
Yeah. These
The early 2000s.
old rails in the early 2000s. Rising production costs and low market prices led to the decline of the island's sugar industry, but unlike other islands which ripped up their train tracks in correlation with the industry's demise, St. Kitts turned its narrow gauge railway into an attraction that could transport a new kind of cargo travelers. The island is the cargo train of Europe with a Romanian built locomotive and seat double-decker cars wrestling in a journey that is slow, swaying, and satisfying.
Thank you, Mustafa. I missed a couple of those words because it seems like your connection's a little bit dodgy today, but don't worry. I got most of them, so let's just practice one or two that are a little bit tricky. This one here is ripped.
Ripped.
Well done.
Ripped.
Perfect. This one here is demise.
Demise.
And last one is resulting.
Demise. Resulting.
Beautiful. That's much better.
Resulting.
Well done. Thank you, Mustafa. Okay,
Amy,
one more paragraph.
excuse me, please.
Sure.
Can you say rip it up together for me, please? Ripped up.
Rip-
up. I don't know.
Ripped up.
Ripped up. Okay. Thank
Yeah,
you.
ripped up.
Ripped up.
Yeah,
Thank
that's
you.
perfect, Simone. Okay, do we know what to rip something up is, since we're talking about it? No?
No.
Nobody? Okay. Usually
It's
we
like to cut, maybe.
to what? Sorry, Maxim?
It's like to cut or tear.
Yes, exactly. Tear, tear. To rip up is exactly the same as to tear up. So we usually use it with something like paper because it's easy to break in half, right? So it's something that's easy to tear or to rip, like paper, maybe fabric. It's quite unusual to use it with train tracks, but it gives the impression that they're just like not very careful about it.
Figuratively.
They're just pulling them. Exactly. Yeah. Thank you. Okay, Simone, if you could read the second paragraph of this, and then I'm going to ask somebody to give us a bit of a summary. So think about that if you'd like to do that, guys. These trains, Simone.
Okay, these trains were specifically designed with the observation deck on the upper level to be about 4 meters above ground, which is what we measured as the height of the tallest cane, said Thomas A. Williams, the St. Kitts Scenic Railway Executive Vice President and General Manager. This means that you are virtually standing on top of the cane. You are going through rainforest, you are looking at the ocean, and you are seeing the flora and the fauna. If you are up at the level of the train, you see what you would have never seen otherwise.
Great. Beautiful reading. Thank you, Simone. That was perfect.
Thank you.
Any questions? No? Okay, what I would like to do is just ask somebody if they can give us a quick summary, maybe like some bullet points. What have we learnt about the West Indies? What do we know about it so far, now that we've read a little bit?
It's about history and railroad, how railroad changed in accordance with the history of this island.
Thank you, Ken. Can you give us some specific details?
Yes, and maybe the at the beginning, maybe the colonization, maybe Britain and French fought, and Britain won, and they colonized this island. And at that time, sugar was the main industry, but for some reasons, sugar industry didn't work well after that, so they shift the industry to the how can I say tourism. So they remain the railroad, but they change the car, adapt the car which tourists can enjoy the beautiful scenery there.
Thank you, Ken. That was a beautiful description. Absolutely perfect. The only thing that you didn't know, which is hard to remember everything I know, but it actually did tell us why the sugar industry declined. There.
Market price. Okay, maybe the price of sugar dropped.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
But actually what surprised me when I was reading this earlier is how long the sugar industry went on for. Because it's only like, sort of 15 years ago that it started to decline, which is relatively recently. So just thinking about the West Indies as a country and as a place, is there anyone who thinks, wow, this would be an interesting place to go? Is there anyone who likes doing things like looking at old I don't know, historical places which have been converted into something interesting. I think that these are quite interesting to go to. We certainly have these types of things in the UK. Is there anybody who can think of something from their own country which is similar to this? Like something from an old industry or the past that has been converted or changed so that people can enjoy it in a different way now? Not really?
One island, actually, I don't want to go there, but one island, coal mine, kind of, the very small island, only the coal miners were living there, that island. But after the coal mine closed, that island became a ghost town. But I don't know why, but that island now it's a kind of became one of the tourist attraction because island has this very distinctive atmosphere.
Wow, is that in Japan, Ken?
Yes, it's close to Nagasaki city.
That sounds a bit spooky to me.
Yeah, so I don't want to go there. But some people, yeah, want to go there as a tourism. Yeah.
What do you do if you go on holiday there? Do you just sort of look at the ghost town? Is there a big hotel that you stay in?
I don't, but maybe it preserves a kind of maybe old Japanese atmosphere, probably.
Okay,
Or
yeah.
that town was, some movie or drama was shot in that island. Maybe that it's related to this phenomenon. Yeah.
That sounds, yeah, I must admit, it doesn't attract me to go there, but it does sound interesting. Maybe just, is it far? Does it take a long time to get there, or is it just a quick boat trip or something?
I think that's a quick boat trip from Nagasaki.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, think about that if you ever go to Japan. How about Spain, Albert? Can you think of anything that's like this in Spain?
Yeah, I think in the earlier 50s in Spain there's a lot of textile industry. Now all these places has been recovered as new industry like technological startups or things like this. It's not a place you will visit, but yes, it's a reconverted place.
Okay, interesting. It's interesting how different countries deal with, like, changing industry and different things that happen in the past. And I think it is interesting to go, if you're interested in a particular country or history, it can be fun to go and see all these old things and see what they're doing now. How about Ukraine, Maxim? Anything you can think of? Not really? You just still have everything going perfectly and your trains are awesome. Is there anywhere that you've always wanted to go, like that you saw once on TV or that you've read about, that's sort of in a similar way, maybe something old that's of historical interest to you, or are you not much interested in history? Maxim?
You asked me about my
Yeah.
interest?
Yeah, are there any historically interesting places that you've always wanted to see or go to anywhere else in the world?
Actually, I think I'd like to visit China because I have already been to most of countries in Europe and I'd like to open for myself the Asia. So that's why I like to start from the China, after that to visit South Korea, Japan, so on, maybe Australia and New Zealand too, after that, because the Asian culture is very interesting for me.
Absolutely. I think it's definitely true that it's a completely different feel, different atmosphere maybe. I don't know whether you would agree with that, Ken. Ken, have you traveled in Europe, or I think you've been to the United States before, haven't you?
I've been to United States only. Yeah, so I do want to go to Britain or Europe or yeah.
Okay. So there you go. You and Maxim can get together after class and figure out a way to swap houses. All right, Simone, how about Brazil? Is there anything like this in Brazil that you can think of?
Yes, actually, there are a lot of cities like those cities were colonies of Portugal. So nowadays, these cities only like they survive because of the tourism about old buildings, old churches, and old everything.
Old
So there is
everything.
one, yeah, there is one which is called Ouro Preto. It's very, very beautiful and charming, and people go there to learn more about the history of Brazil.
Okay, have you been there yourself?
No, not at all.
Does it interest you? Do you think you'd like to one day?
Yes, it is, but the point is, travel here in Brazil, inside Brazil, is very expensive. So sometimes I prefer to go abroad than stay here because it's, ridiculously expensive to travel here.
Not like the Ukraine.
No, no, no. Not 5
Maxim has
euros
no
or something.
excuse. Yeah. Is it I understand that because yeah, sometimes I suppose like there's always interesting things to see in your own country, but because you live there, it's not quite as interesting for you. It's more fun to maybe go somewhere different, especially if it's going to cost you the same amount of money.
No, but it's interesting. But the point is, it's
Yeah.
very, very expensive. I can pay 4 trips abroad instead of stay here and go to one city only.
Wow, that is expensive, Simone. My goodness.
Yes, that's the point.
Crazy.
But I love Brazil. Brazil is beautiful.
Yes, I can imagine, or from what I've seen, absolutely. Is this place far from where you live? How far away is it?
That's the point here in Brazil, far away, because Brazil is huge. So sometimes, for example, if you want to go from my place, I live in a place called Piauí, and you want to go to São Paulo, it's about 3 days by bus.
Oh my goodness me. That is a long way.
Yes, because of this is expensive.
You guys still hear me? No? What's happened?
Yeah, I hear
I can
you.
hear
Yeah,
you.
movie stopped, but I
But
hear
you're
you.
frozen.
All right, excellent. I don't know what's happened. I've frozen with my eyes closed, which is really attractive.
We lost her.
Okay. Only 2
But we
minutes,
only
huh?
have 2 minutes.
Yeah.
So I think it's time to sing a song.
Okay.
May I? Okay, let's sing. In the sunshine when she's gone, and she's always go too long. Anytime she goes away. This is for Amy. She has
Oh my
gone.
God.
So
I think
anytime she goes away, Amy, come back.
Way.
You are.
Oh, no, don't laugh at me.
Well done.
So I'm going to sing a Spanish one. Antes que te vaya, dame un beso. Sé que soñaré con tu regreso. Okay, that's it.
Muy bien, no. No, muy bien, ¿eh? Muy bien el
No, muy
really
mal.
good next.
A mí me gustaría hablar español, pero no hablo nada.
No hablas, tú estás hablando ahora.
Solamente isso. Yo solamente sei hablar que não hablo.
Okay.
pero yo consigo compreender muy bien. Muy bien, I think. Penso que muy bien. So,
How
okay, it's
many
not
language?
fair.
It's not?
No, it's not fair to other people because they don't understand Spanish.
Yeah, okay.
Only
How many
Portuguese.
languages do you speak?
Only Portuguese. And
Only
I am
Portuguese.
trying to speak English.
Okay.
Oh, Amy.
Okay. It's late in the morning here, so see you again. And have a nice day.
See
or
you guys.
See you. Bye.
See you.
Nice to meet you all.
Bye.
Bye, Albert.